Yeah, yep, they got Mel to rap at the Super Santa Sunday. That was funny. Then I was thinking, I should have been Ice Ice Baby to that tune and we could have done the whole thing. That would have been
Yeah,
great.
we could have.
Yeah, that was fun. So, welcome everybody. How is everyone tonight?
Wonderful.
But it is good to see everyone. Happy Thursday already. Goodness gracious, this week is flying by. Um, we had to postpone the magic show for tonight because I have a magician that's ill, but we'll be making that up next week with StreamYard. So tonight I just wanted to have a quick little meeting and talk about Santa organizations and even Mrs. Claus organizations out there. So as people trickle in, we'll just kind of like focus on what these organizations do, what you expect from organizations, and what you'd like to see in these organizations. So, excuse me 1 second. Hang on a sec, I got a little terrorist there.
Did she say she
Terrier
had a
and
little?
Instacart is never a fun thing.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you had a terrorist.
Yeah, that's what he reacts that way. That's what I call him. So, but I have Instacart dropping something off, and he's freaking out like usual. He's thinks he's a Rottweiler. He's not. He's a 30-pound terrier. So, but let us start off. I'll just start off at the top. Herbie, Vice President of Maps.
Yes, and maybe possibly to be the president here next month.
I am thinking that's amazing.
Whoa, we went full screen on me.
Yeah, we always go
That
full
is
screen.
scary as anything. I don't like full screen, to be honest with you, so I'm going to turn myself off there. All right, much better. So the question is Santa groups or Christmas performer groups.
Yeah,
Well, as you know, many of you may know, Michigan Association for Professional Santas MAPS is predominantly located in Michigan, but we have members throughout the United States. Ben, for example, is a member in Ohio. Melissa, when she joined, she was still living in Arkansas.
yep.
And so I believe the purpose or the benefit of being within a group is simply having the ability or having the backup to go and ask questions to be able to provide the information that other people may have actually learned and wanted to share. Oftentimes, I feel, and you hear this when you go to various schools and get togethers, is if you look like this, you can't go and see another Santa perform. You can't go and see another Mrs. Claus perform because it's a very highly likelihood that Mrs. Claus is there with another Santa. So by actually having these groups, not only from an education standpoint, but it also gives an opportunity for you to rehearse your craft in front of your peers in order to get feedback and to make your job a whole lot easier. And there's many of them out there. I mean, almost every state has one. iBurbs has many different chapters of them. Ben started one because he didn't like the one that was already there in the state. No, I joke with him. But each group has its benefits and its disadvantages. Some are very territorial. Some doesn't want new members because they feel that people are going to take all their jobs and their potential, where others are like, if you ever attended any schools with me, I'll be the first one to tell you. You can take anything I do, anything I know, use it, and if you make it better, I'm taking it right back. Because as my mentor, Michael Howell, says, we are better together. And we striving to make our portrayal as a Santa Claus ambassador the very best we can. And if we can make it consistent, then you know what? It doesn't matter where we go. Great look, Ben. Love it. He's preparing for Lee in a couple weeks. What else you want to know about there, Melissa?
So tell us approximately how many members does Maps have,
Oh
give or
my,
take?
you're giving like really hard questions already.
You would
I
think
believe at the last count, we've had over about 350 members within MAPS itself. Of course, larger organizations, especially national organizations, are going to have many, many more. I mean, in fact, if you belong to Ed Taylor's group, I mean, he has over 1,000.
Mhm.
Even the Magical Fellowship group. How many members do you have in this group, Mike? I mean, Melissa?
We're we're getting close to 1,500.
So again, though, and this can be considered to be an actual group in itself.
Mhm.
It's virtual and it's wonderful, but we have an opportunity to come together at least once a week or when you can and talk about different topics, let people ask questions and just give a like a round table feel to it. And it's not just Santa's. Many times other Christmas performers may have questions. Mrs. Clauses may want to know about certain stories or certain protocols or why do Santas do certain things, just like we should be very curious about why Mrs. Claus does the things she does as well. And then to bring in elves, and it's not just people that you work with within a maybe on a photo shoot or in a mall setting, but to be able to have various elves come with you to different events to work the crowd, to help get the crowd excited before you make your grand entrance. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to share. It's really cool when you actually see Mrs. Claus start telling her versions of the stories about reindeer, and then they come up to Santa to check to see if Mrs. Claus was doing the right thing. Or if you have an elf that maybe works for, in my world, High Step, how they treat the reindeer. And is it true that Cupid is the most loving reindeer and we make hair gel out of reindeer spit? So those are the fun things. Oh, yes. I have a nice little prop that basically is a nice little jar that's filled with clear slime. And I will literally pass it around to the children so they can put their hands in it. And then when they ask me what this is it's reindeer spit. The elves use it to slick back their hair before we have our snowballs.
That
And I
is
don't mean the kind that you throw. I mean the big dances we have at the North Pole.
that is great, Ernie. That's
So,
great.
but those are the things that I think it's important to become part of a group instead of with the mentality of being a lone wolf. And it's not just from an entertainment standpoint. We have an opportunity to share costuming, repairs, and cleaning, where to get different props, what's the best place to get said boots, belts. I mean, I'm not very lucky to basically have pure white hair. So who does your hair? And again, with our Santas that are designer bearded Santas, it's a great opportunity to basically have a central location to discuss, even from of those of us who have real beard now, to apply crepe hair, the different ways to actually put on a designer beard. I mean, Sal looks fantastic. Mel looks wonderful. Heck, when Virginia Beach, nobody knew she was a Santa until she broke out the phone. And it's a wonderful thing when you can literally walk in and you just carry the magic with it. So
And blend.
now, how about you, Ben? What do you want to say about your group?
Yeah, let's see Ben here. Thanks, Herbie. Appreciate you, dear.
No problem.
Um,
Sorry. You got to turn yourself back on. Mel switched me too quick.
Sorry about that. It's like candid camera. Can't hear you, Ben.
how about now?
How about now? Yes.
All
Gotcha.
right. Pretty much the same thing Herbie said, or Michael said. I started the group because I was looking for some place to get questions that were regional. I mean, if you have beard care questions and things like that, you can ask anybody. But if you're trying to find out where to get a good place to get your suit cleaned that's not going to destroy it, that's someone in Michigan or California or in Illinois isn't going to be able to help me answer that question. And so there's a lot of things like that, which is why I started the group. And the group's purpose is to help us get better. That's its mission statement, to empower us, encourage us to do better, and do training. And so to that end, um, falling apart there, Mel.
Yeah, totally. My backdrop just fell.
Uh, we hosted Sat Bob School our first year with Gordon came here, and then we hosted Tim Conahan last year, and then later in 2 weeks we're hosting Lee Andrews and Jeff McMullen. And so it's creating opportunities for education, fellowship, and the job board was really successful this year.
Yes, I can say again what organization you're part of
I am the founder of Ohio Santas.
and what are the qualifications to join Ohio Santas?
You need to be a Christmas performer, either Santa, Mrs. Claus, an elf, reindeer wrangler. I don't make something up. I don't care. You have to either live or work in Ohio, or be willing to take a job in Ohio if the right job was offered. If you're in California and someone said, we will pay your airfare to come to Columbus, Ohio and do 2 days at the Easton Mall, if you would do that, then you're qualified to do it.
Fantastic. A great organization that's only gathering more speed. So congratulations on your success, Ben, so far, man.
We're still babies.
That's okay.
We're still just youngin'.
We like youngins up around here, you know. We're not like 110 years old yet, so that's good.
And we have 108 members on our Facebook group and probably another 15 that are not on Facebook.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, I appreciate you sharing, Ben. I really do. So thank you. Let's see here. Gary, are you part of a Santa group? I can never remember.
I am not.
Okay. No worries. And that's okay. That's okay for everybody. Gary, how long have you been a Santa, man?
8 years.
I know it was coming up
8
on
years.
that. So,
Yeah.
so what part of the country are you in again?
East Tennessee.
Awesome. I'm always going to ask you that every time I see you. So,
No problem.
but there's actually some groups down in Tennessee as well, I believe. I know there's one around Memphis, if I remember
Correct.
correctly.
Correct.
So,
We have started a iBurbs chapter. We've had maybe 2 meetings.
okay.
So and I've only been to one of those. So
Well,
hopefully that will take root.
that's fantastic. That is absolutely
What's the
fantastic.
name of that group?
East Tennessee Santas.
East Tennessee Santas. Awesome. Well, it sounds like a good bunch of people down there. So I miss kind of living down there. So thank you,
Yeah.
Gary. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Sal, are you part of a Santa group there, my friend?
Nope, I just formed the map. That's the only one closest from, we have nothing in New York.
Ah, I thought you had New York Santas there for a while. What happened to that?
No, there's a organization down near New York City, but I don't live near there.
Okay. Are you more upstate New York?
I am central New York, right on the Pennsylvania border. They call it the Southern Tier.
The southern tier, right by the Blue Route, right? Or the New York Freeway?
Nope, the other opposite end, right on the Pennsylvania border.
Okay. You know, being from Philadelphia, you used to cut through New York. So just trying to figure out what side you're at.
Right up in the middle of the state.
Fantastic. Beautiful country, my friend. So, well, we're glad that you're part of MAPS and you had a wonderful season this year. Sal's a great Santa. I had the pleasure of meeting him in a couple different occasions, but got to hang out a little bit in Tennessee. So, Santa Argyle, Rhonda, are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Are you
Can't-
part of any Santa groups out there?
Can't get my video going. Yeah, I'm part of the Inland Empire iBurbs.
Okay.
And then I have just recently been invited by the Forbes Inland Empire Santas to come to their meeting, their group gathering this Saturday. San Diego Forbes is, they're a little, I don't know, they're shy. Let's put it that way. They're kind of standoffish to me, and that's okay. I get it. You know, I'm not there to take their job. I don't want their jobs. You know, I have my own to keep me busy. But the Inland Empire, which is up in Los Angeles, Riverside area, and San Bernardino, Temecula, they have most graciously taken me under their wings and said, please, please come join us. You know, they adopted me during the 30th reunion that Forbes put on. And they were amazing to me. So they've invited me this Saturday to come join them. And then San Diego has a really small group, kind of a newbie group that goes by Santa Claus Santas and Company. Very, very new on the map. And so Danny Atwood is trying to get that going. It initially was started by James and Judy Gagney. of Escondido. And then, you know, they've just, you know, they're trying to simplify their life a little bit in their senior years, not get out of being Santa and Mrs. Claus, just looking to scale down, possibly moving. So they asked someone to step up to the plate, and Danny Atwood of San Diego stepped up to the plate. So I'm real proud of Danny for doing that. So we'll see. We'll see how my Saturday goes. I'm excited about it. There we go.
That is great. You'll have to fill us in for sure.
Yeah,
So I'm sure it'll go well. So
I certainly hope it will. They've been nothing but wonderfully gracious. And, you know, it's sad with, you know, the San Diego, but again, you know, they're shy.
yeah.
And I understand. I don't need an explanation or anything. You know, Mel, we're a breed in our own, right?
Absolutely. For those of you who don't know Ms. Rhonda Santa Argyle, she is one of my sister Santas, and I am blessed that we're doing this together. So it's kind of neat having someone that understands the trials and tribulations, because we're not your typical dudes. So
Yeah,
So
right.
that
Rhonda,
picture is you as a woman as a Santa?
Yes, that is me.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you can, you know, go to my Facebook page, Santa Argyle, or to Rhonda Guile, and see more pictures. And, you know, I have some exciting news, is that iBurbs puts out a annual magazine, information magazine called Christmas Connections. And John Mahomes reached out to me, and she asked me to be the articles or the magazine Santa. They're doing it on the Women Behind Christmas. You know, I don't know the quote, you know, name of the actual magazine that they're putting out, but it's a Christmas Connection edition for the 2024 holiday season. And so they've selected me as being one of the Santa Clauses, and I'm, you know, tickled pink, so to speak, to be, you know, representing the San Diego area for being Santa Claus. And I am in my going in my 9th year. So like one of the other Santas on here mentioned, he completed his 8th year. So with all of you wonderful seasoned Santas that are on here, I'm a newbie. I'm a newbie.
you
Young.
would never know it, dear. Never know it at all.
Thank you so much, Mel. I love you to pieces.
I love you too. I'm so proud of you, girl. What a way to represent. Awesome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
I just have to say, I'm sorry I'm going to interrupt you, but these two women Santa Clauses here that make the rest of us look terrible. You look fantastic.
Isn't she beautiful?
I've told
Thank
you
you.
now that I think you are amazing, but
I'll pay you
Wow.
later. So
I am
Thank you. Thank you so much.
we are blessed that we get to do this. I know I speak for Rhonda. We have to dance a little bit harder because of all the hard work you guys do. We want to be authentic and be our real selves. And we want to make sure we carry on that legacy. So we do dance a little harder because you guys
Yes.
set the bar so high.
Yes, we
Oh.
do. We do, Mel. You know, we have to talk and walk and sit, and our home mannerisms we have to recreate. You know, it's a whole nother ball game, you know, for you and I to do this. And if we didn't have the love in our heart for what we do,
Mhm.
who in their right mind would be doing what we do? You know?
Abs- Absolutely. You know, I go for immersion therapy and just hang out with the guys.
Exactly. So, you know, we fly, you know, Mel and I, and if there's any other, you know, ladies that have taken on this portrayal role and this journey that we have taken, we do fly under the radar, off season type of thing, until we actually don ourselves in, you know, our red suit and our face, and, you know, and our mannerisms. As soon as I put the clothing on, the jacket on, I am Santa. And Mel, you and I have talked to this extensively.
Mhm.
It's magical to us. I would say you and I shine with that.
Yeah.
So
Kathy has a question.
Yep, I'm doing
You,
it. Thank you so much,
is-
Rhonda.
how many, not Mrs. Claus, but Santas are female? Is there any studies on that or any other people who have,
The-
offered that?
The last study that I talked to in talking with a lot of people in industry, which includes like Ed Taylor and a couple of the teachers around, right now there is 2 rated professional female Santas in the northern in the United States, the lower 48. There is up to 15 that do it regularly. There's one at a Bass Pro Shop, but she'll fill in. But there's 2 rated professional female Santas that do it full time right now, and you're looking at both of them. So there is one in Florida. She's on this group too, Trish Hirdy. She was Santa by Scott Parker that does it occasionally to fill in as well. So, we're gaining numbers, Rhonda. We got 3.
yay,
So
yay. But I am very honored to be able to follow in Mel's shadow. I feel that, yeah. Okay, well, we'll walk side by side, but
please just walk side by side and be my friend.
but
Yeah, so,
I'll
but,
let you take the reins sometimes because you have much more experience, love, than I do. But yeah, this has been magical for myself, and as I know it has been for you, Melissa.
absolutely. I love it. And with dear friends like Kathy Norred and all the other female Santas that are Mrs. Clauses that have been behind us, it's just been amazing. So
Yes.
thank you so much. Kathy, I know you're a proud member of MAPS. You're also Kathy Norred. Sorry, Kathy Fick, I'll get to you in a minute about Great Lakes. Kathy Norred, you are, do you want me to spotlight you? I've been trying to be good at that. There you go. I know you're a member of MAPS, but you're also organization a couple female Santas as well. What's going on there?
With MAPS, I'm a brand new member of the board. Get to start that next month. But yeah, putting giving some voice to the Mrs. Santas that are there. And then with the North Pole Sisters, there's a lot of groups that are kind of Facebook orientated. Mrs. Santas is Ellen Turpening, and Kathy Fick can talk a little bit more about maybe what they're doing. But last Sunday night, they had a speaker on who was dealing with autistic children and in a dance studio type of setting. And it was very informative, a very good group of people that got together. And she will often highlight different Mrs. Santas who are dealing with different parts of the Santa Claus world. And then, I don't have a lot, with the North Pole Sisters. I haven't really, been a terrible part, huge part of what they're doing, but I do know that they have chats on Facebook and different things that they highlight as far as costuming and I forget exactly what else they do, but it's kind of what they cover.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ta-da.
No, we can't hear
Mel, you're
you if you're
muted.
talking.
Oh, you couldn't hear a thing?
No,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
you, Mel.
Okay. Hold on. I think you got it.
Can you hear me?
Keep
Yeah.
pretending you can't hear
Now
her.
you can.
When you unplug the external mic, you don't have any sound. Just gonna let you know my disclaimer there. if
Stuart
you-
Deacon would be so proud of you.
Oh, yes, he would. He'd probably be smacking me with a cattle prod right now. But if you ever find yourself on a game show or needing any history on Mrs. Claus or just basically the Claus family in general, your phone a friend is Kathy Norred. She is a historian. She is amazing, and I'm proud to call a friend as well, dear. So,
If I don't know it, I'll look it up.
and she's fast at it. I've seen it in action. So Kathy, I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Good to see you. And in turn, I'm going to go over to another Kathy, Kathy Fick. You there with me today?
I am.
All right. How you doing?
Kathy,
Hi.
Hey, you want to talk a little bit about Great Lakes Santa and Mrs. Santa's?
Sure. Great Lakes is a fundraising organization, and we try to raise funds so we can give it to organizations like Shop with a Cop. We've done several of those last year. Mitch Allen was up here, and he and Michael Howe and Mike Brewer did an awesome fundraiser for us last year, and sounds like they have another one planned. So, but we just try to get contributions from people so we can make donations, and we helped over 2,000 kids last year.
That's
And both of
fantastic.
our fundraisers fell through last year, and we still were able to help 2,000 kids.
That is great, Kathy. Think of all
Sorry,
this.
I'm a little hoarse. I had surgery yesterday, and I had a tube down my throat. So
Oh, goodness. I hope you're doing well.
yeah, I am. I had my gallbladder out.
Oh, been there, done that. You got the t-shirt.
Yep.
I understand. So I
Yeah.
pray you get to feeling better, and I'm glad you joined us. And I'm not going to make you talk too much after that. It's not really fair of me. But again, Great Lakes is a good fundraising organization, and Kathy's also a member of Mrs. Santa's with Ellen Turpin as well.
And MAPS
And Matt, of
and
course,
Ohio Santas.
and Ohio Santa's. So Kathy's like many of us, multiple groups. So again, thank you for being here, Kathy. And again, I pray you get better. Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You're going to find muscles you never knew you had.
Oh yeah, I felt a few.
Yes. Mr. AJ,
Yes.
how you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Now you're in Ohio. Are you a member of the Ohio group or?
Yep, I am
Fantastic.
in Northeast Ohio Santas too. So
Fantastic. What do you like about the groups?
just learning all things.
Good deal. So are you getting ready to attend any schools or anything?
Just Branson and probably Santa Family Reunion next year.
Oh, awesome. Two great times. Branson's amazing. I absolutely enjoyed the Santa Family Reunion, and I encourage anyone to try to make that. So a lot of good learning, a lot of courses. So you'll be like a kid in a candy shop. It's great. So, well, we're always glad to have you, and look up Santa groups for sure, man. So
All right, we'll do.
awesome. Well, I won't spotlight you. I'm sorry. I
Very
got
good.
I got to lay off that spotlight button, guys. So,
hey Mel.
yes, Ben.
Since there's no members here, I'll go ahead and mention Ohio also has a group called Buckeye Santas, which has been around for a long time. I think they're one of the early Santa groups. It's a great group. It's statewide, but it's centered here in Columbus. They have meetings once a month here. But it's there also.
Awesome. I'm sorry, where are they pretty much centered out of, Ben?
It's a statewide group, but they
Okay.
have their meetings here in Columbus, so that's kind of where it's focused.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Buckeye Santas. All right. I think I got everyone so far, right? I put everyone in the hot seat. I never get a chance to put Gary or Sal in the hot seat, so I was looking forward to that. I am blessed in my set of the woods. I am the new recording secretary for MAPS. I'm a member of Ohio Santas, the Diamond State Santas in Arkansas. They have an older group that is pretty much predominantly based in northern Arkansas. Great group of people. I'm a member of the New York Santas, and I'm also a member of the Texas State Santas, not the Lone Star Santas, the Texas State Santas. So a couple of the groups are iBurbs groups. It's just a wonderful sense of acceptance. And it's you learn so much, but my heart always lies with MAPS. They adopted me as an Arkansas delegation years ago, and now I'm just proud to be up here with them. And Johnny was a member of MAPS as well and absolutely loved it. So Santa groups are a thing. They turn into families too. You make some good friends, you make some lifelong friends, and it's fun to live, laugh, and learn together. When you're in these groups and you're learning and laughing, I got to wing a pillow at another MAPS member, just for fun, while we were away in Virginia Beach. It's just nice to be part of an organization. So is there anything anyone wants to learn from any organization or needs to get recommended or appointed to any organization? Well,
Well,
here's Charlie.
I feel this way. I mean, with all these gatherings, whether it be the International Santa Claus celebration in Memphis or Charles Howard or Branson, I think as individuals, we need to get out and talk to other people and actually find out all the other groups that they're part of, and not just from a Santa group. There's many other organizations out there, whether it be community theater. Sometimes you might be able to find somebody or a group that's just specializing in St. Nicholas.
Yeah.
But unless you actually get out there and speak to people, you'll never know what groups exist. And you never know what you can learn, because the tapestry that we actually use for portraying a Christmas performer is all encompassing. I mean, whether you're a chef, whether you're an actor, or whether you're a singer, a songwriter, guitar player, etc. There's many different groups, and all these different skill sets can actually be very easily cross over to a Christmas performer. So,
Absolutely.
and again, I encourage you to always take the opportunities to look up education and take advantage of all that education. As Ben was saying, in a couple weeks, he has a master class going on. And he's got two very well-established performers there, Lee Andrews and Jeff McMullen. I know Steve Gillum and Deb Gillum are supposed to be there as well, more as a student, but rather than as a featured speaker. But we do have Memphis in April. And then, of course, we start getting into, I know MAPS hosts a Red Suit Conclave the very first weekend in August. MAPS is also bringing in Santa True to teach the second phase of his Christmas performer workshop. So use the groups, find the groups, and see what education. Right now, what Matt Spalding and the Vermont Santas, they're actually having True there this weekend, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is this weekend.
So again, take advantage of everything that you have at your fingertips.
Well
And Sal,
said.
stop being a lone wolf.
Join us, Sal. We have cookies.
I'm here. I'm listening. I'm just listening.
Speaking of maps, looks like we had two other people join us, Charlie and Daniel Pless. Hi, guys. Hey, we're talking a little bit about Christmas.
Hello.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hi.
We're talking about Christmas groups. Now, I know you guys are MAPS members. Are you members of any other groups?
The Fraternal Order of Real Bearded Santas and the International Brotherhood of Real Bearded Santas.
Very cool.
Claus Net.
That's
And I think what
fantastic.
else? Oh, Great Lakes Santas too.
Very good. Awesome. What do you like most about the groups?
Well, I like MAPS the best, though, because it's easiest to get to. You know, the International Santa they have the one thing, you know, in every other year. And Forbes, you know, they're more on the east, the west coast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So,
And so,
well,
so it's really kind of MAPS and Great Lakes, and of course there's Ohio Santas too. I belong to,
oh, good, good.
and Santa America too.
Awesome. A great organization as well. I know we just
Yeah.
lost Robert not too long ago, you know, so, but, well, we're definitely, glad you're part of the group, man. I'm glad to call you a friend, and, Dan is always, you always know Dan of MAPS. He shows up on his spider trike. I was brave enough to ride on it last year, so, it's always a great time and another wonderful source of information for all things Santa. So, hey, Charlie. Are you on a bus? What are you doing?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Looks like he's on his yacht.
Looking at another event, so I'm on as much as I can be.
That's okay. Just a short, quick meeting about Santa groups. So, we know you're a member of MAPS. Any other organizations that you're part of?
Well, iBurbs, and I joined that mainly for the background checking and insurance, although I'm using Larry Talbert now.
Mhm.
Also a member of Great Lakes Santa's, ClawsNet, but most of my interactions are with MAPS because, you know, they coincide better with my values and stuff.
Fantastic, fantastic. So, and what part of Michigan do you live in there, Charlie?
Pardon?
What part of Michigan do you live in there?
I'm over in the West Michigan, north of Grand Rapids, about 30 miles.
Awesome.
Right
Awesome.
about, oh, you can't see it. Hard to do with my.
Eventually I'll learn how to tell directions by my palm, eventually. So we're Santa's Magical Fellowship Group is not a Michigan-based group, just to put that disclaimer in there. But there's a lot of MAPS members on here, and we are blessed to have each and every one of them. So again, you learn from people all over the world. I can learn, things from Sal in New York as much as I can learn from like Gary in Tennessee. And it's just neat having a bunch of people up here in Michigan as well that really know what they're talking about. Now, Stephanie, I see you've joined us. How are you doing? Stephanie?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Glad to have you. Welcome. Oh, there you
Thank
are. Let me, I'm annoying people by spotlighting people this evening. So,
That's okay.
so welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you part of any Santa groups or?
Well, we are part of iBurbs as well as MAPS, even though I don't live in Michigan, I live in Arizona.
Okay.
But Ellen brought us in, and then we're part of
Okay.
Arizona
Didn't know if
Santas
you had
here.
done or not.
That is fantastic. What part of Arizona are you in?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. I lived off of Thunderbird for a little bit, so I know it well.
Yeah. Well, we're actually in Gilbert, so
Oh, okay.
but nobody knows
Well,
Gilbert.
Probably a
Unless
lot
you're
better
from
than
here.
Thunderbird. So,
Okay.
that was 25 years ago. So
Oh.
are you Santa, Mrs. Claus?
I am well, I'm not a Santa. My husband is Santa. I am Mrs. Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, that's how long have you been a Mrs. Claus? I lost my train of thought there for a minute.
This will be our 7th season.
That is amazing. That is amazing. I always had a question for Arizona Santas and Mrs. Clauses, and I'm sure people ask you all the time. How do you stay cool?
So, well, I'm a police officer by day, so I'm used to wearing, like a lot of gear, and being in a black uniform doesn't help. And then, Santa Richard actually works at the zoo, so he is used to being out in the heat too. So we've kind of acclimated to the temperature. But this last year we did just go down to North Pole Cornerstones and we purchased the Therm apparel undergarments. So we're gonna try those out this season and see if that helps us stay a little bit cooler.
They're amazing.
Under our fur.
Yeah. I bought them from Julia at the Santa family reunion. And actually I bought another one for my brother who was a law enforcement officer in Maryland. And he actually wears it. It's thin enough to wear underneath the vest.
Yeah, that's what she was telling me too. And I haven't tried it for work yet because it's still kind of cool here now. We haven't hit the heat, but I'm probably gonna try it out in May when it starts getting a little too hot.
Fantastic. Well, we are blessed to have you. Thank you for your service, by the way. Appreciate you so
You're
much.
welcome. Thank you.
It's always good when I see a new face or people that haven't been on very much. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, my mind's been going crazy since January, but I'm Santa Melissa. I started this group about 4 years ago. There's 2 female Santas on here, so now I try to ask everybody new whether or not that if they're Santa or Mrs. Claus.
Who they are, yeah.
But we are blessed to have you. We meet every Thursday night. Next Thursday night is going to be on StreamYard. It's going to be about Christmas magic. Have some magicians on, which will be amazing. So
okay, thank you.
Yeah, so we have Arizona friends. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So glad you're here, dear. So glad you're here.
Thank you.
Feel free to post on the website anything, any questions, or you want to share any advice, please do.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Surely. Let's see here. I thought I saw Everett. How are you feeling, man?
Well, I just got back out of the hospital last night, from round two. Had, basically, I think my body after I got out from my emergency appendicitis, I had my tube pulled yesterday or day before, and the drain tube, and I was great. Went home and was sitting at the computer doing some stuff. I'm like, man, I'm kind of getting tired. And then I got up to tell my wife, and I just started physically violently shaking like I was freezing to death, and I was so cold.
Okay.
And then I put on a stocking cap and a long sleeve shirt and my heavy pajama bottoms, and my wife says, "You okay?" And I says, "No, I don't think so." So got me back to the hospital, and they think I might have been starting to get some strep, or
Oh,
staph.
sepsis,
Yeah,
sepsis,
staph,
staph infection.
staph infect, whatever, that big ooey gooey stuff that's bad for you. But I spent a couple days there, spread my charm, ate marginal hospital food like I tell everybody, and sang Christmas songs as I left the back of the emergency room area. And so brighten people's days. That's what I do. So
Well, I am glad you're doing much better. Prayers are definitely with you. I'm glad Dana was home to take you there. And man, that's scary. So, but you look great. You both always look awesome. So, so we were talking a little
But
bit
in the
about
middle of all that, we had twins. So
congratulations.
you, little boy, little girl.
So you've had a roller coaster. That's for
Past
sure.
2 weeks have been nuts.
Oh man. Well,
After he had his surgery, the twins were born. So I ran from hospital to hospital.
oh my goodness. Well, that says something for you. That resolve that you have. That's
Oh yeah,
amazing.
and
Amazing.
work. I had to work too.
Oh dear goodness. When I grow up, I definitely want to be like you. I don't know if I could handle all that.
I can't do much more of it.
Oh gosh. So we were talking a little bit about Santa groups. I know you guys are a member of some Santa groups. What groups are you a member of?
we're now forming the Southern Society of Coastal Clauses here in the Savannah, Georgia area. We had one meeting kind of forming. We still need one more member to join IBERB so that we can accomplish that. And we're in the process of getting that done. But a lot of people interested, and
There was no organization at all in this area. So
Yeah.
we've just been kind of seeking everybody out and kind of plucking them. It's the whole coastal area from South Carolina, Georgia, and down into Florida. So
Well, that is amazing. I'm
Yeah.
proud of you guys.
thanks. We
That's
had about
amazing.
16 that committed to going, and then everything fell apart. But we had 10 that showed up. So for the first little get together. So
That's really not bad for a first get together, guys. That's
No,
that's
it's
nothing
really
to
not.
shake a candy cane at.
no.
So very good. Well, I wish you the best of luck. If if I know anyone in the area, I'll send them your way.
Yep.
Agree?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
5 years from now, when you're saying, "Well, I have 200 members and 105 Mrs. Clauses," you'll look at your labor of love.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I am blessed that you're here. It's nice seeing all the Santa organizations that we have out there throughout the United States. We also have some Santas, from our neighbors to the north. I think I saw Phineas, Mike here. Hi, Mike.
Good evening. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you, my friend?
Doing okay. Doing okay.
Good. Good. We're talking a little bit about Santa groups. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going up in the land up north there?
Okay. Yeah. Somebody has stopped my video, so I can't actually.
Your video.
Yeah.
There.
There
How about
we go.
now? Sorry about that.
Thank you. There we go.
I didn't know we could do that.
I didn't know I could do it either. I clicked the wrong button.
Yep. You can stop people's videos if their connection is destabilizing the meeting. So it's useful to a certain extent. So in Canada, we really don't have anything super organized. We've got a group called the Regional Municipality of the North Pole, which is started as just a social group of Santas that just sort of got together around 22 years ago. And every year we have in March or April what we call the Gathering of the Clauses. And it's just a general social get together. It's a dinner meeting, just sort of how did the last year go? What are you doing? What are your plans for the upcoming year? Given that they just handed it over to yours truly, I'm turning it into a little bit more than that. I'm hosting it this April, and we are having some seminars. We've got some vendors coming to our meeting, and I'm working with, we actually have a Russian Orthodox Church of St. Nicholas, and I am working on seeing if we can get a tour of the church so we can see the icons of St. Nicholas and the shrine of St. Nicholas here in town. So that's the goal, but it will be a day of fellowship, a lovely meal prepared by one of our local Santas, who is a restaurant chef, and just a nice relaxing thing. It's been going on for 20 years. We have a silent auction where we raise money for a local charity that is run by the Canadian military, who provides toys and gifts to children in areas that are not serviced by roads or railways. So they actually airlift Santa into these areas, and he goes and pays them a visit just before the holidays. So
that is super special, Mike. That is pretty cool. So what is the name of the group one more time?
The Regional Municipality of the North Pole.
It just sounds so regal. So very good. I wish you the best of luck, man. That's going to be great. You know, just reeling that in a little bit, and hopefully, you know, some of us can come up there and visit with y'all.
Yep.
Be fantastic. So
April 20th. Let me know.
April 20th. I see a Canada trip in the future, guys.
You don't need a passport to go to Canada. You just need one to come back.
Well, I did buy a passport finally, so let's.
I was going to say that I'm working with Clowns of America International they're having their big convention in Niagara Falls, New York, and explaining to the Americans that they need a passport to come into Canada, not to get into Canada, although Canada does prefer passports, or if you're in Michigan, New York, I think Ohio has them as well. They're called enhanced driver's licenses. But it's the passport you need is to get back into your own country, courtesy 9/11. So
you might have a permanent roommate if we don't have a passport, is what you're saying.
I don't know about that, but you know.
Gotcha. Well, that is awesome. I know I'm definitely gonna look into it myself, Mike. That's awesome, man. Thanks for being here tonight. And I see your partner in crime here, David. Hey, Santa.
My boss is here. Yeah, the big boss.
We're talking a little bit about Santa groups, David, and we're just putting Mike in the hot seat a little bit.
Trying to find my mic here. Oh, there we go.
There you go. So
be good there, Finn.
The other thing we do is every Friday morning around my coffee table, my dining room table, is we have a gathering of Santas and Christmas performers who come. And once again, it's just a sociable event. So every Friday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will Zoom people in if they really, really want to come. But the idea is in-person fellowship. And so we have anywhere from 6 to 12 Santas around my dining room table. So.
That is pretty cool. Very nice. Very nice. That sounds like a fun little intimate get together. It's very cool. So I think that's rewarding. Sometimes it's a small little intimate groups that you pick up a lot from as well. So David, are you with the Phineas groups there? Are you part of any other Santa groups?
No, I'm with Finn. You know, usually wherever Mike Phineas is, most of the time you're going to find me. Got to hang with my brother.
There you go. You know, you guys are just an amazing act together. So
we have a lot of fun.
It is way cool, way cool. So it's always good to have our neighbors from the north. So we appreciate everything that you do, and hopefully we can see you guys more this year as well. It'll be awesome. But see
It's
what
that 40%.
Yeah, amen.
It's that 40% that kills it for us.
Yeah, add 40% on to anything that you guys pay because the Canadian dollar or the American dollar is worth $1.40 Canadian these days. So
Oh man,
coming
So,
down to
you
the
know,
US is expensive.
that's rough, dude. Well, we'll have to get a little more creative. I think when we'll have to help you guys out, get a little more creative. But we always
yeah,
love
come
seeing
to
your stuff.
us.
We'll come to you guys.
Come to you guys because your dollar is worth $1.40 here.
I have to go up and try that black ice cream that Mike's always eating. So I want to try that. Looks really good anyway. So, but thanks guys for being here. Randall, how are you, my friend?
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. Craziness going on always.
I understand craziness, my friend. We're talking a little bit about Santa and Mrs. Claus organizations. I know you're a part of a couple organizations. One I know, but I know you're going to say it. What organizations are you part of there, Randall?
Of course, we all, everybody knows MAPS and all that, of course. And of course, iBurbs, of course, here, this is a great organization, fellowship of everybody. So those are the major ones, of course.
Good. How you been doing, Randy?
One day at a time. I'm 4 weeks out today from open heart surgery, so healing up pretty good.
You look great, my friend. So we were definitely glad that you're here. What I do typically, everybody, the first 2 or 3 meetings of the year, basically the first one's an introductory meeting. The second one, I normally have a topic, and the third one's normally like, hey, let's figure out about each other. Well, we had to bypass the second meeting because one of our magicians is sick, but I wanted to actually just talk a little bit tonight about the Santa Claus groups, just to kind of show you a snapshot of everything that's out there. Do you need to be part of a Santa group? No, you don't have to at all. You can be your own beautiful entity, and that's just fine. But I just wanted to kind of showcase the people that are out there for support and fellowship and friendship and, people you can bounce ideas off of. I mean, always our group here as well. But for those of you who might be seeking a group or moving to another state, it's good to know that there are groups out there. From Vermont to California and everywhere in between to Canada, all over the world, there's groups like this, which makes things extra special. Now, I'm kind of biased. Our little Santa's Magical Fellowship group here is like the epitome, tip of the iceberg of awesomeness. Each and every one of you is amazing. But just know that there are groups out there, and, a lot of times you're not limited to just one. It's kind of like potato chips. You can't have just one unless you really want to. So, but join them, if you want. If you don't, still reach out if you have any other questions. I think it's really neat that there's things out there that people do the same thing that you do. And I think that adds a little bit of extra magic. Does anyone have any questions about any Santa or Mrs. Claus's groups, or what's the difference between an iBurbs and a Forbes group? Anything like that?
Hey, Mel.
Yes.
I think it's worth mentioning. I think looking through the screen, about everybody here probably knows, but since it's being recorded, it's worth mentioning that Randall is the co-host of the Bob and Randall Company show.
Yes.
There's also the Tuesday Night Live show. There's also one current podcast and at least 2 previous podcasts or expired podcasts, but they're all worth listening to, and they're great to learn from.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, Ben. I'm glad you brought that up. The Tuesday Night Live show is its own entity, which has a lot of, casts that you can listen to as well as a group. Randall's Monday thing is amazing. I always catch it late, and I have no excuse because I'm a member of the Tuesday Night Live production team.
Doesn't matter. It's on YouTube. It's on replays on Facebook, so you don't have to see it live. You just won't interact with us when we pose the questions and everything else like this.
You won't win a prize like AJ
You won't win a
does.
prize, but you can still learn it and be a part of it. They're all saved for the past Well,
Yeah.
I've been with them 3 seasons, and Tuesday Night Live has been in 4 seasons. So there's a lot of education, a lot of fellowship, a lot of laughs, a lot of heartwarm things, and so much to learn.
Yep. So much to learn. Great speakers, great topics, a lot of laughs. Anytime Spangle's involved, there's going to be a laugh here and there around everybody. So it's another good group to join as well. Also, Matt Spalding has a podcast out of Vermont called North Pole Radio. That's another good thing to listen and learn. He has a lot of good guests that's on there. So definitely. And there are the Santa cast is out there. Had a couple of good guests.
It's coming. It'll be slow, but
There's a lot of
for
things out
anybody
there.
who's been to the main office,
Well, hi, Ted. Last but by no means least, my friend, we're talking a little bit about Santa groups. I know you're a member of MAPS. Are you a member of any other groups? You're muted, Ted. Ted.
Yeah, I was muted because I'm in the middle of 2 Zoom meetings here.
Oh, okay.
Google Workspace, which means we can all have. I think they're about to wrap this other one up.
WMR.
I'll give you a high five when they do.
All right,
I
so
know
we're
I've
about
done
to wrap
that in
this one up
past.
too, so, but glad you're here. Ted is a part of MAPS. He's a member at large on the MAPS board as well. So,
Just to let you know, Bruce and I were interviewed for a podcast for the North Pole Radio about a married Mrs. Claus and Mr. Claus who are working together.
that is great. I cannot wait to hear it. Fantastic. That's gonna be exciting. Very
So
cool.
that's up and coming.
We got insider information. That is great. So.
Mike and I recorded one with Matt this week as well.
Oh, goodness, that's awesome.
So so Santa and his elf working together.
Man, I got some stuff to listen to. If you've ever been interviewed on Matt's podcast, and I have, it's a fun time. It is a great time. So definitely put your name out there, folks. Well, this is the last for introductory series. Starting next week, we get into more theme meetings. Each meeting I'll have a different theme or different instructor. Sometimes we will be on StreamYard. That's just so we can focus on our guests and pick up the most information. Events that we have on StreamYard, I will post a couple days in advance instead of the day of, just so you guys have time to get on and you know how to share your comments and any questions that we can answer ahead of time. Then we'll get into our speakers. I put a couple invitations out there. I'm hoping quite a few Hall of Fame Santas and people like Julie from Therm Apparel, different people coming in and speaking. It proves to be an exciting year. So I thank each and every one of you for being here. Like I say every single time, if you have a chance, look in a mirror. I want you to look long and hard in that mirror and realize that you are looking at Christmas magic. You're the love and legacy of the season. And I am so very, very proud of each and every one of you. We'll see you next Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, folks, may visions of sugar plums dance in your heads. Y'all be safe, be healthy, be loved, and keep being magical. Much love, folks. See you next week. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
See you soon. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a great week.
Bye, guys.